I think we promised you that we'd have national and international and global and universal treasures. Here we are. I've got Roman.
Hello.
The international and stellar treasure.
Are you sure you have the right person?
Yes, I am sure, and I won't be moved from that position. Roman, you're just coming out the other side of the vast piece of work that is ITIL version 5.
Almost.
How are you feeling about that? What's your personal sense of relief or pleasure or whatever? Does it feel good to be mostly done?
I said mostly because we published their 6 or books that are all part of the official qualification scheme.
Mm-hmm.
But we have 2 important amendments still to make. We are finalizing currently the new module on AI governance, which is led by the absolutely wonderful and amazing James Tinister.
Is he? Is he wonderful? Yeah.
I'm also talking about the right person. Yes.
Of course he is.
Then we are going to spend the second half of 2026 updating the practice guides. The most practical, the most hands-on part of ITIL, and the only one that hasn't been touched during this update yet. So you ask about my feeling. It feels like we are about to run the last, let's say, 5 to 10 kilometers of a marathon, but that last leg is on the fully exposed stadium, and everyone will see if you fall. And the practices are going to be updated for the new terminology, which is more just the facelifting for consistency. They will also be updated to reflect what we already know of the adoption of AI in every practice. And we know quite a lot, and we keep capturing the data. Last year in our software assessment portal, we introduced 66 new criteria related to AI across 20 practices and had 11 vendors to self-assess themselves against those criteria. So we know what is used, what is less used. We might update that assessment before updating the practices. We also have heard a lot from the actual industry organization, so that's important update fact. I hope we will also make practices supported by or coming together with open book exams, because all new exams of our foundation are open book. And finally, some practices need an update related to a new product focus. For example, service design is supposed to be product and service design. And although the approach to design is high level, very similar, the details, the practicalities are different. And so far we reflected this in the respective sections of the product and service book, but the practice should go into further details. So I'm looking forward to that, but it's quite a lot of work for half a year. And after that, there will be probably a feeling of accomplishment that the new version is finally complete. So we are still working on it, although the most important parts are already there.
I mean, I think the practice guides, certainly for me, where they maybe didn't have the same level of visibility or when you talk to people, but once they actually saw them, they were delighted with them. And I think they are incredibly practical and flexible for a variety of people. So I think it's a completely vital thing to do to get that working.
Well, there are changes which I really like in that. So the story is that we originally published them separately and they're free to access, and their naive assumption was that people will complete foundation, they will understand which practices they're interested in, and they will know that they have free access to those practices, and they will start reading and using them. But first, people don't really like reading. They prefer other people to read slides to them. Not everyone, but significant part of our audience. Second, the main channel people were finding out about the practices was supposed to be the trainers. And trainers, since there was no product behind the practices, had little motivation to promote them. And until we introduced back in 2023 the practice-based exams and training,
Yeah.
they didn't get the visibility that they deserve. That being said, the visibility improved after the introduction of the exams, but also, for instance, a couple of weeks ago, I was presenting new ITIL to the very new audience at ITSMF Bulgaria and Sofia. And I asked the audience whether the people there have heard or read ITIL practices. And I was absolutely amazed by the level of response. It wasn't like 10% of the audience, it was the majority of them. So people who are into service management and who are aware of the membership, and as long as they are aware, they get into it and start using. We just don't see that significant part of that adoption because, again, it's not reflected in the numbers such as number of exams taken or training taken.
Well, you could argue, though, that a lot of those practice modules or practice guides, they wouldn't necessarily be people who saw themselves as being service managers. You know what I mean? That they might get value and give value to their organization by doing some of those practices, or so they probably aren't in the. When you get a focused ITSMF community, then they're going to know it. But I mean, anything that will help to improve the visibility and as you say, the motivation for people using them, I think is positive. Just moving on, what's your sense of the actual feedback or the reaction, where people have read the books? Some people still like reading, and taking the exams and so on. I mean, the sorts of comments and feedback that's coming back from that, and has that been positive? Has that been constructive?
Mostly, more than I expected. Obviously, I'm in a bubble. So if I look, for instance, at my LinkedIn feed, I see a lot of publications from people who passed the exam or just attended the training or delivered the training, and they are mostly excited about their most recent accomplishment.
Yeah.
It's too early for them or for us to judge whether they benefited in the workplace from that. So if you ask me what people think of using ITIL 5 compared to ITIL 4 in their workplace, ask me in a couple of months or in half a year. People who share their impression from what they see in the training or from what they see in the exam or from what they read in the book are mostly positive.
Mm-hmm.
We had some challenging feedback from some training organizations regarding the changed approach to covering the practices at the foundation level, because we keep moving with every version from making foundation training just a potpourri of multiple practices, a bit of every practice there. We replace it with foundational information, as got the name, equipping people to study the practices, but not overwhelming them with 34 purpose statements and 68 key success factors.
Yeah.
And some people say that's what they were used to, especially if they have a long legacy of using ITIL and they remember ITIL version 2 or version 3. The best training organizations see that this is an opportunity to focus on the practice they want, because their syllabus doesn't prescribe which 10 to discuss or which 5. And that flexibility can be beneficial if the trainer is, let me be blunt, if the trainer is good. And if the trainer is delivering their training purely for the exam, the candidates may end up without sufficient coverage of the practices, although they're introduced as a concept. All the key elements such as incident, change, SLA are introduced. It's just that this introduction is structured around the 8 value chain activities rather than 10 or 26 or 34 detailed process of practices. So in terms of cognitive load and story, I believe it has become better. But some training providers believe otherwise, some embraced it straight away, some required some persuasion, some are still not sure. I haven't heard any negative feedback about that point from the actual candidates, only from some trainers.
The content, they just the main ideas, the product and service management, the experience management, the stepping stones and all that, and just those kind of main things.
Yeah, the foundation hasn't changed dramatically. It's clearly an evolution. And you can tell this just by the fact that we accept ITIL Foundation as prerequisite for higher levels in the qualification scheme. We don't need to go for ITIL 5 or for a breach, although they are available.
Yeah.
The main changes were in the reintroduction of the lifecycle model and the change of the way we describe the value chain model, where we are moved from this monolithically looking cube to stepping stones. Both changes are universally welcomed.
Yeah.
I haven't heard a single bad word about those. It's resonating with people who have been using version 3 and kind of skipped the 4. They are relatable to those and recognizable to those who embraced version 4. So to both audiences, the new model of the life cycle and the new model of the value chain, and the fact that they are clearly related but separate, because the value chain is not cyclic, and it doesn't have a predefined order. This idea, this change is universally loved. The product part is yet to be seen, because we lack sufficient feedback from the product community, and we are working on bringing this news to product community, because they normally are not our not in the audience that
Target audience.
they are our target audience since version 4. It's just not, we are not the source of choice.
Yeah. So carrying on, we were just talking there about the development of the product management side, and how to engage with that community, I guess, how to get them on board and participating and listening, and because there's a great opportunity there, because there isn't a single framework or methodology in that area the same way that there is with ITIL.
Yep.
Whatever anybody thinks of ITIL, or it is, they don't have that. So there's an opportunity to get some more engagement, I think.
It certainly is. It's not only an opportunity. I firmly and genuinely believe that there is a need for this, because the split between digital product and digital service communities and the concept of digital product and service management was quite artificial. The product community evolved from project thinking to continual improvement, focus on value, iterations, improvement based on feedback, portfolio thinking. And the service community evolved from thinking in IT systems to focusing on value, continual improvement based on feedback, iterations, portfolio thinking, and generally we preach the same foundational principles.
Pretty much the same, yeah, I know. Doing the same things.
And we do it about the same subject, about the same digital solutions for business. It's just that we use historically slightly different language, and we have very distorted views on each other. And this split in the industry, it also is reflected in internal teams. And we believe that those internal teams may be the bridging audience for us, because, if we come and preach an ITIL view on products to a startup that is creating a mobile app, they might just ask, who are you and why? But if we deal with internal organizational teams, where one team is creating digital products and the other team is delivering digital services, and they are likely to have the same stakeholders, the same focus of organizational value, the same executives on top, the same governance, and we have a chance by bringing the unifying framework, the common language to them, to find a way to their ears and their hearts.
What would you think? I totally agree. What would you think would be, what one big thing would make a difference to really I mean, we've got the content now. We've got the integrated content.
Yep.
What else does it need to be successful?
Well, the sorry, it's not a very original response, but if both parties or both bubbles communities keep focusing on value, and not only short-term value but longer-term value, sustainable value, and if they recognize that all digital services are based on digital products, and all digital products are experienced, accessed, and used as a service, then the very idea of splitting this into two separate worlds will look weird and
Yeah.
difficult for them. So we live in an artificially divided industry, and we hope to bring it closer together. Or apart from this unifying stakeholders and internal context, we, since PeopleCert also has a DOI portfolio, the DevOps Institute, we do have a DevOps audience that is listening to us. And if the foundational concepts that we present to both DOI and ITIL traditional audiences are the same and based on the same foundational models, I don't propose teaching DOI people ITIL. What I'm saying is that both DOI and ITIL can start with a unifying view on the diamond, on the lifecycle model. And that will be enough to understand you are right now studying, I don't know, observability. It works at this, and this stages of the life cycle.
Yeah.
This is where it sits on a bigger picture. And it can be a good start. And if we keep it simple and practical, another guiding principle, and properly communicated, then it should work.
Yeah, I think the message needs to be developed to cut through. I mean, there's good messaging so far, but it just needs to really cut through and talk to those.
That's our challenge right now. We have a message to convey. We need a proper medium and the proper way to convey.
Yeah. Okay. Just one last thing. You've been doing these extended videos, including with me. I babbled for hours, I think. I don't know.
Yep.
But what's the thinking behind them? Because they are much more long form interviews with sort of people from the industry, and if somebody hadn't heard about them, how would you kind of pitch
Well, this year it will be 10 years since I found myself in the middle of ITIL development. I was very lucky to find this position, to be invited, and to work with people who are objectively, not only in my opinion, the best minds of this industry. We don't have much of internal expertise in ITIL development team. We always rely on external subject matter experts, like yourself, like James, like Jan, like Akshay. And we have been working with different people on ITIL, and they have been shaping through ITIL the way the industry works. And they have been, of course, shaping the way I think of service security. So first trigger for me was this kind of jubilee, 10 years. The second, at some point last year in August, one of the key contributors that we worked with on ITIL 4, Christian Nissen, announced that he is now retiring from his professional career and becoming a full-time student of philosophy in University of Copenhagen. And I had some plans about involving him in ITIL 5, and I realized I won't be able to do that. And I also realized many people are not that lucky. They cannot know you or Stuart Rance or Christian Nissen personally. They cannot call you and ask for an advice like I can. They cannot witness you playing piano or drums. They cannot just chat with Paul Wilkinson and know his story. And many people who have been shaping this industry for a few decades are retiring or retired or about to retire. Sadly, some passed away. And I thought that while there is an opportunity, because everyone is around and willing to talk, and since I have this unique position of being able to contact them, I want to create a tribute to people who have been shaping me as a professional, ITIL, and the industry over these years. Because I find it fascinating not only what each of these individuals think of service management or AI or whatever is the topic in the professional area, but also how you find yourself in this career, how you started it when there was no such profession at all, or who influenced you as a professional, or what you have to share with the youth joining the industry today. And as a result, we have currently, so this weekend I'll be publishing the 11th episode of about 1 hour each, slow, boring conversations where just two people sit, I ask questions, the other person shares their views, and I find it fascinating. I know that some other people also do. It's a very niche thing, but I think that people listed there deserve this visibility and distribute. And my plan, I haven't shared publicly yet, but I think I can now, is after all, I think it will be 15. After all 15 videos are recorded, to turn it into a book, to have it printed with some profiles, with shorter versions, edited, but still to keep the personal story of these amazing people that I'm lucky to work with. That's the project.
They're definitely not all boring. Some of them are. I mean,
No,
you know,
the one with you was fascinating. Or the part where I ask questions is usually boring.
well, you're very modest, Roman. Thank you very much for your time.
My pleasure.
Really, really good.
And thank you for doing this.
Yeah. Well, we're going to keep doing this. Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.